Welcome back to another episode of Recovery Through Discovery. I'm your host, Jamaica J, and today we have another special guest, Reggie Burns in the building. What's good?
It's your boy Reggie B. You heard me? How you doing today? How you doing?
I'm so happy to have you here. Go ahead and tell the people who you are, a little bit of your interests, disinterests, and things like that.
I'm Reginald Burns. Reginald Burns. That's my government name. I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana. I love sports. I love podcasts. I love movies, TVs. What I dislike or what do I dislike? I really don't dislike a lot of things.
That's a good thing. That means you're a grateful person.
I'm grateful for a lot of things. So
Okay.
I don't really dislike a lot of stuff. So.
Yeah. And I know you said before you enjoy deep conversations.
Yeah, deep conversation, most definitely. I like to, pick out the brain.
Yeah. So I'm glad we're here today, and we're really just gonna dive into it. So, when you say you like podcasts, what type of genre do you like to listen to?
Conspiracy theories. I like conspiracy theories.
Me too.
I like.
Do people call you crazy for liking those?
Yes, my mama them swear I don't know what I'm talking about.
I love it.
Why you believing it?
For real.
Your mind not what my mind is. So it's like you're not gonna see the world where I see it. So
Yeah.
Conspiracy theories. I like mental health podcasts because I'm actually supposed to start one, but I just been procrastinating with it. So.
You got it.
Yeah. So.
Word to anybody procrastinating on something that you know you need to be putting your foot on, go ahead and do it, because what's a better time to start than now?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
What's something about mental health that you think isn't talked about enough?
Men's mental health. Black men, to be exact, because I feel like we don't have men overall. We was always told where I grew up. We was always told you can't express yourself. Expressing yourself makes you weak as a man. So it was like it just never set right with me. So
really, it
came to a point where my little brother came to me and told me he couldn't cry and express himself, and it was hurting him. And I was like, I had to really sit back and look at myself like, nah, you can really cry. You can express yourself. You can tell me how you feel. So I feel like black men. That being a big thing in the black community, I feel like that's the reason why we're so disconnected, because we're not taking the steps to get healthier. So it's our fault. We're holding ourselves back. So.
And people think it's kind of uncool to go and get help. They're like, oh, you in therapy?
You went to therapy? No, black people don't do that.
Exactly. And it's
that's the reason why we're not getting healthy, because we don't want to go to therapy.
Yes, and why are we putting white people as the standard?
Yeah.
Why is it only white people that can be healthy and happy in life?
Why we can't?
We deserve it too. We're just as live, going through the same things, literally. What's something that has really impacted you that you are still kind of trying to get through?
I would say family issues. I had a big thing with, back then I used to be prideful, so I was like,
really?
I'd never go to my people for nothing. I just keep it to myself.
Why?
That's how it was. It was I didn't have a way to express myself. I didn't know how to express myself. So it was I didn't have nothing to, I have nobody to talk to, so I just played sports and let my anger out doing it. So it was that was my coping mechanism. If you want to say that.
And it worked for
a
while.
Until I got out of high school.
Until it
once
did
I got out of high school, I didn't have sports no more, because that's when life really just.
Man,
yeah.
You get to college, real
just,
life happened. Well, not even real life, because we in a pretend world really, but
yeah.
realer than what it was,
yeah.
right?
All the bills and stuff come that's when I realized this is. I was once I got out of high school on my own, I was like, dang. I wish I had somebody to teach me this before I got here. So it was real hard for me, because it was it came to a point where I was trying to cut it off, kill myself.
Are you serious?
I promise you. I'm not afraid to talk about it anymore, because I passed that part of my life where I can just talk about it and not be sad or depressed about it anymore. It just.
I didn't know that, Reggie.
Yeah, a lot of people.
That's
don't know
heavy.
Because I don't like to show that side. I'm a joyful person.
Yes, the way you carry yourself, you're so happy. You're always cracking jokes, making people laugh. When Reggie's around, the energy's up. But to know that, I would hate to say it, but it almost makes sense, because it's the people that seem okay that really aren't.
Yeah. So that's all I do is crack jokes to hide the pain.
Oh my gosh,
I
it's
really
coping.
do. It's coping. It's my coping. I like to make people laugh, so I won't feel the pain. That's just something I do. But I'm getting better with it where I can just express myself and like talk to people about it instead of just hurting from the inside.
Now, I'm going to ask you this kind of just like, because I don't want to like trigger you or anything, but like, does talking about it kind of take you back to that place?
No.
Okay.
I moved on from it. So it's like I'm more stronger mentally than I was back then. Back then, I couldn't talk about it at all.
Okay. So being in that kind of depressive mental state, what did it feel like? Just going about your day to day, or, you know?
It was like it was difficult because I would hide it so well. Like you would never know because it's like go around people, crack jokes, and just put a smile on my face. But as soon as I get home, I'm crying.
Like constantly?
Like constantly in my room crying, just like, dang, why me, God? Why me? Like, why I'm going through this? And it's all because of me. I went through all this stuff because of me, and I knew that. Now that I got to a point in my life where I know my mistakes I made before, I don't repeat them again. So it's like growing. I say depression and stuff. It matured me.
Wow.
I don't know how, but it matured me. It showed me like I do not have to just depend on myself. Like I can go to other people. Like
yes,
it's not just me in this world by myself. Like I have family, I have friends I can talk to. So it's like they really showed me when like, okay, I do have people I can talk to.
Yeah.
Like I used to think I didn't have nobody to talk to. Like that's how I felt. So it was like it's just me versus the world. So.
And when you were going through that, was that like kind of what made you reach out to people, or you were still kind of in your shell?
I was kind of in my shell, but then my mom was like, "You're so prideful." And every time she told me I was prideful, I would just get mad. I'm like, I had to sit back and be like, wait, maybe I am prideful.
Yeah.
Maybe I do need to check myself and see what's triggering me to be so mad at little words. So it was like, my mama told me, like, you so prideful, you need to work on it. I was like, okay. I had to just sit back and come to myself, like, okay, I need to work on it. Like, I had to be a man enough to say it to myself.
Being a man.
Yeah, you gotta be a man. To be able to grow up and be stronger as a man, you gotta fix yourself first. Like you just can't.
What that look like?
Okay, mentally you gotta be mentally straight. Like, cause if you ain't right in the mind, nothing's gonna work out.
Nothing's gonna work out
at all. I promise you.
It's all kind of just like scattered.
It's scattered. Your mind can't be everywhere. You gotta have like a straight order. Like everything gotta be organized, prepared right. Like it's just.
Yeah.
It's like that. That's what I say.
This is just like so much to unpack. So, Jesus. You talked about when you were in that time, you said you were asking God why. Being religious or just believing in God and then having those thoughts of wanting to just end it, did that kind of like, were you at war with yourself having that? Did you feel like you would disappoint anybody? Or?
I feel like I disappointed a lot of people. I feel like I disappointed my mom, my brothers, family members back home, because I came all the way from Shreveport to Texas.
Yeah.
I'm a transfer, so
by yourself though?
Yeah, by myself. Oof. So my mama and them already moved out here to Cypress before I came out here, so it was just like, it was my turn, because it was like, if I would have stayed in Shreveport, I probably would have been another statistic, shot or dead, because it's bad back home, but I love my city, so.
Right. It's that natural love.
Yeah, it's that natural love, but I love it enough to know not to go back.
Awareness.
Yeah, like you gotta know, like, where certain spots where you meant to be, like.
Yeah.
I just knew it was time for me to leave Shreveport, so I just left it and just came here. Environments
like that aren't conducive to your growth, because I'm from Pine Bluff. Do you know anything about Pine Bluff?
No, I don't.
AKA Crime Bluff. It's really bad, but it's because it's underfunded, not enough stuff for people to do, so they think all you can do is go out and kill each other. Guns and drugs are very accessible. Kids don't care about anything but hitting lit. Yeah. So, and then parents not being parents, it's a whole lot of it. So I really do understand where you're coming from, and I'm glad you got yourself out of that situation and chose to, because you easily could have stayed.
Easily.
Complacency.
Yeah.
Let's talk about complacency.
I was getting too comfortable.
So would you say there was a time where you were getting comfortable in your depression?
Yeah.
You think everybody has the tools they need to get themselves out of that?
No, I don't think they do.
No?
I don't. I feel like they don't have it until they ask for help.
Okay.
So it's like, you might think you have the tools, but I feel like just you having the tools by yourself is not gonna be enough. 'Cause it takes a family to like keep you. I feel like it'll take you like when you're going through that time, like having a family around is very important because
Really?
it's like you're not alone. Because when you're depressed in your head and thoughts, you're gonna feel alone. So
Yeah.
being around family makes you feel that comfort that you need. Like I'm not alone. I have my family here, so it's like.
But what about those loners out there who literally actually don't have nobody? They can't call nobody up. Maybe they ostracize themselves from their family, don't got many friends. What advice would you give them to like help themselves?
I say go to God.
Go to God.
Go to God, because I promise you, in my deepest moment, my darkest moments, I was the only person I could go to. My mama couldn't help me. My daddy couldn't help me. My brothers couldn't help me. It was only him. He was like, I'm waiting for you.
Oh.
Like, I'm waiting for you to come to me. Like, surrender yourself. Be vulnerable.
Yes.
Like, come
He
to
will
me.
do that.
Yeah, he will.
He will put you in a position to where you literally cannot reach out to anybody else, and that lets us know that we need God.
Yeah.
Because if you have everything in this world and you're on a mountain all the time, what's the point of God? So I think he's very humbling, and he would do it instantly.
He will humble you quick.
Man.
He will humble you quick.
What's one of the, like a time you've been humbled in college to where you're like, ooh, okay, I'm listening. I'm set.
Okay. It's probably not good, that story, because it was doing, like...
What?
Like, last semester, like... Okay, I did shrooms.
Okay.
Okay, I did shrooms by myself. And I was in a bad...
We don't.
You don't
do drugs.
Don't do it. Hey,
don't listen to the dog from back in the childhood. Don't do that.
So I did shrooms by myself in my room, and I was in a bad mental state, like
Ooh.
crazy mental state. I'm like looking at myself in the mirror. I go on live on Instagram Live, get on live, I go outside. I'm in my drawers on Instagram, going crazy, talking about Jesus coming back. Jesus coming. I said, yeah.
Oh.
That was my point. I just felt like that was me feeling guilty.
Oh.
Feeling guilty because I was like, if he was to come right now. I at that point, I didn't feel like I was gonna go to heaven if it was to come at that moment at that time. So it was like, I feel like I was just feeling guilty, and I was like, oh,
wow,
I need to chill out. I need to get right because if
Yeah.
he was to come, I'm not going to heaven.
right.
I'm not. And then ain't the feeling. I don't like being hot, so I can't go to hell.
For real.
I can't go to hell. So that really just set me. I had to sit down. I'm like, damn. I need to check myself, like, what am I doing wrong? To make me feel I had to just feel so guilty of all the things I've been doing. So that was a moment where he really humbled me.
Now, was it because you were being worldly and
Yes.
doing things, or following the crowd,
So
stuff like
most
that?
definitely, I lost my relationship with God trying to fit in.
Can we talk about that though? Like, why do everybody want to be like everybody? Where's the originality?
What I'll say is that it's not following, it's just trying to fit in. Like, trying to, you see certain things, certain trends, you try to do it too. But then some things don't work for everybody.
Right.
So it's like, I had to find my own lane. Like, I already knew I was a leader to myself. And everybody always tell me I was a leader, but it was like, I didn't feel like I had the qualities of a leader at that point. So it was like, I was trying to follow this trend. I was like, none of this working for me.
Wow.
And I just kept doing it. I'm like, why none of this working for me?
Yeah.
And then somebody was like, bro, chill out, relax. Come back to what you know. Like,
And was it a family member or a friend that told you that?
A friend,
Oh,
actually.
a brother.
A brother, yeah.
Because that's a brother right there.
Yeah, because my homeboy, he told me, he was like, bro, chill out. Like, you do your own stuff, and it's funny. Like, you just be you. And I was like, okay. I just started being, like, doing the stuff I do, so.
Yeah.
It just turned out.
So what do you do when you face the temptation of following the crowd again, or going back to the ways that you felt like you were delivered from?
That's a good question. At this stage in my life, I just sit down. Like, when I feel like I'm doing the wrong thing, I just look at myself like, nah, chill out. I matured enough to understand that I'm doing something wrong. Like, if I'm going the wrong direction, chill out, Reggie. Come back to your senses. Like, humble yourself. Like, I have to really humble yourself. Like, you got to tell yourself, like, chill out. Like,
and that's discipline right there.
Like, I had to go through a lot of stuff to get there. I promise you, it wasn't
not just overnight.
Not overnight. It was a progress. It was a strong progress, a hard progress. Because it's like, I wasn't this disciplined before.
And how, you're 23, right?
23.
I know that discipline is like one of those things for men your age to like get a grasp of, because they got so much testosterone. They want to conquer the world and every woman in it. Like, what advice would you give to men out there to just be disciplined within themselves, to be respectable, and like to really just live out their purpose?
Fix yourself first.
How?
All right, so you can't have a wife and not be right with yourself. You can't love somebody and not love yourself first. So it's like, as a man,
that's law.
As a man, you gotta really do a self-evaluation on yourself. Like, you gotta look back and see, because a lot of men don't want to admit this. So like, we hurt a lot, and we don't talk about it. So it's like, we gotta let that hurt go. We gotta find a way. We gotta find something to express those feelings and let all those suppressed feelings like out. Because like all that, it affects you in the long run. In relationships, anything that you have, your mental is gonna always come around with anything you talk about. So it's like, if that's not right, I promise you nothing else is gonna be right. You can have the most money in the world, still not be happy.
Literally empty.
Still not be happy. Empty.
Super empty.
You can have the most money in the world. Feel like, oh yeah, I'm on top of it. In your mind, you might be like, nah, I'm not happy. Money don't make you happy. People say money make you happy. Nah, it don't.
It doesn't. And it don't even stop at finances either. It could be followers. Yeah. Oh, I got this many followers on Instagram, Twitter, whatever.
Social media.
I'm up.
Yeah, social media, most definitely. Social media, you see all these famous people in clothes and stuff. Men gonna want to see that because like, oh, I want that.
Yeah.
I want to stunt too. I want to flex.
And that's how y'all get y'all's validation from the world, by having more material things. The more money you have, the more status you have for men.
That's a pride thing.
Pride?
That's pride. I feel like it's pride because why you worry about another man and what he got and why you feel like you gotta compete with him? Like,
right.
Boost him up. Like all my homeboys, hey, I'm proud of you.
Right.
Like,
put me on.
Put me on. Like, yeah, I'm always for positive affirmations for my homeboys and friends.
I love that.
Because it's like, if you're not getting it nowhere else, you're going to get it from me. Because we all got to be better together. I feel like if one of us doing something right, we all got to be, like the circle got to be doing everything right. Like, it just can't be one bad apple in the group.
That's true. But even if it is, I feel like they can change.
They could. But
they can change because everybody else is good.
Yeah, but certain people might not want to change.
And then they got to get the boot.
Yeah, they got to go.
No pun intended, because I'm from Louisiana. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really important to just not get caught up in what other people are doing and really focus on yourself. Because like, I know for me, sometimes when I get vulnerable with people and tell them like maybe an insecurity I have or something like that, they're like, what? What do you mean? And I feel like they maybe look at me in this high and on a pedestal, but like, you don't know what I'm going through behind closed doors. You don't know what it took to get to where I am or have what I am or whatever the case. Not saying I'm anywhere high, but you just never know. And the same could be said for anybody else in any field or thing like that. And it sounds like you have really good friends around you, like really close friends and people who actually care about your well-being.
Yeah.
What's that like, having good... how do you know when you got a good friend?
You know you got a good friend. I say somebody that's not going to let you bullshit.
That's okay. That's real.
Somebody that's not going to let you, like, play around with... If they know that you got greatness in you and they don't help you or motivate you to do anything, you don't need them around. Like, you need somebody that's going to get on you that when you're doing wrong. You need somebody that's going to boost, support you when you're doing right. Like, at low moments, they need to be there to lift you up.
Yeah.
And it's vice versa. You need to be there to lift them up because you can't do this alone. Like, so it's like having that support around you and everybody that's determined to just get it. I feel like that's a good thing to have. And that's what I have with y'all, my communication friends. Like, we all family. Like, we all, like, a lot of people don't know. People say, communication majors don't do nothing. We do.
We be putting in work.
Y'all don't see the behind the scenes work we do in this studio.
Yes, it's hard to be creative. Yeah, it don't just pop. And you need to feed off people with like-minded.
You do.
So I know there's this discourse going around about how men friendships aren't as in depth as women friendships. What do you think about that? Like, oh, they aren't as like close. They don't really do the kiki kaka cuddly type deal.
We don't, but we have an understanding of how we are. So
what does that mean? What does that look like? Explain it to us women, because like we want to know.
Okay, say I say, me and my homeboy, we've been knowing each other since we was like 3rd grade. And we still keep in contact with each other. So it's like, we don't have to be so close to know, like, always in each other's face and all that. Like, we have an understanding. Okay, you
is that shade?
It's not shade.
Okay, I feel like that's a little shady.
It ain't shade. It's just how we work. Like, we don't have to, like, always be around our boys to understand. And I don't like to be around my homeboys all the time. I tell them that. Like, we are boys. Why want to be around you for? Like, I want to be around women. I don't want to be around boys. I'm sorry.
Right.
I told them that. So it's like, they have an understanding. It's like men have an understanding of, okay, we chilling, cool, bye. Like, sometimes women don't know when to leave.
Please.
I'm telling y'all don't. Y'all just.
I think we just like the community.
I understand that, but men don't. I don't like being around me all the time. So it's like, okay, I had my time around you, so it's time to go. Like, it's time to go. It's time to go. It's just
maybe that's the hunter mentality or something.
Probably so.
The golden. What's the golden age? Stone Age.
Stone Age.
Stone Age with the freaking. Are they Neanderthals? What are they called? The stone men with the whoopee. It's okay. This isn't the history podcast. This is recovery. This is recovery through discovery. That's very interesting. What's something like a theory, trend, topic, something that's got your attention these days?
Ooh, this go.
You always make that face.
The world is flat. That's the one thing that's been on my mind. I've been like, what? The world is flat. We've been lied to all my life.
Wait, why do you think that? Have you ever seen a globe, though?
Yes.
Do you know how close freaking, I think it's Japan or Australia, one up to Cali? That means it's round.
It's not.
But why? Give me a reason.
I feel like the government, they've been lying to us since we've been born. They just been lying to us since we've been born.
They capitalize off of our, foolishness.
That's why we have to be here to know what's going on out there. Like, that's what people not understanding. Like, I feel like they whitewash everything to blind us from all the black history. Because the world began with black people.
Literally, it was the first race of people.
Like, we started it, so how you tell me you ain't got no history of us, but you got nothing but white people history? Like,
that's that mental conditioning, brainwashing.
Brainwash.
I always thought it was, I always liked history, but I really couldn't get too into it because it's like all these books are telling me is this how I was not good, how I was the property, the slaves and stuff like that. And when I know that's not all we were,
We built this land.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's a theory I believe is real. So I don't care what nobody says. I believe the earth is flat and...
But why?
Because if you go, if you go fly in the plane,
okay,
does the earth look round or does it just be a flat surface? You can travel from here.
Let's be for real, Reggie.
I'm telling you, it's not going.
Let's be for real. Do you really think a plane is going that high to be able to see that though?
Yes. Yes.
Be for real.
Yes.
Be for real.
Do you think we got a space?
I do.
You think they went to the moon?
I've heard some conspiracies about that one, and that Photoshop real good.
That's what I'm saying. Did they go to the moon for real?
I don't know. Because, who was the cameraman?
I say it was underwater. I say space is underwater.
What? You're blowing my mind right now. If you agree with what he's talking about or kind of feel what he's saying, comment down below and expand on what he's saying. Because I'm not getting it.
Your mind you just got to be there. You just got to be there.
I feel like you said we only use 5% of our brain. You use 7.
I probably do. You never know. I probably do.
So if you had one thing to just share into the world, one thing you want the world to know about Reggie B, what would it be?
I'm always me. I don't never have to put on a show for anybody. I am an open book.
You are, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm an open book. I don't too much dwell on my past no more where I'm hurt from it. So it's like I'm matured to let that hurt go, and that make me a better man to this day. So it's like I'm an open book, and I'm cool with it because it's like somebody probably need to hear me say this, or somebody probably going through the same thing. I probably been through the same thing with them, and I know how to get through it. So it's like, yeah.
So is there brightness? Is there light on the other side? Tell the world. Is there light?
Yes, it is, most definitely.
Keep pushing, because you're gonna make it.
You will make it.
This
and
was
put
awesome.
God first, please.
First. Before yourself. Before that man that ain't texting back.
Before that woman.
Before that woman that ain't posting you on her socials, but she'll post the arm when you take her out to dinner. Before that dog. No, just playing. But yeah, but seriously, put God first. This has been an amazing episode and so insightful. You've made me get stuck in my tracks sometimes, and just really thinking and just understanding all that you've been saying. So I really appreciate you for coming here, being vulnerable, and maybe I'll have you back another time.
Thank you. Thank you
all
for
right.
having me.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Recovery Through Discovery. I'm your host, Jamaica J, and that was the show.